morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Barry.
What do you make of the behaviour of Qantas?
Well, I was listening very carefully to the panel beforehand, and what I have to say is this argument that says that Qantas had no choice but to ground 108 planes and inconvenience 68,000 Australians, that Qantas just had to do that, that the board woke up Saturday morning without any planning and said, righto, we're shutting down the airline today. I don't believe that. There are plenty of legal avenues available to Qantas, and the government certainly knows that, and Qantas certainly know that. There is no question in my mind that 68,000 Australians and the tourism industry has been grossly inconvenienced by this high-handed ambush of the passengers.
How embarrassed is the government about that? Not only that passengers have been stranded, there are somewhere between 17 to 20 world leaders stranded in Perth at Choggum, and of course MPs are trying to get to Parliament tomorrow.
Sure, it's inconvenient for a lot of people, but you know, the world leaders will probably sort that out. I am really frustrated, though, for all the people who are on holiday or coming to the Spring Carnival in Melbourne or trying to get away after Derby Day. There are no case for this radical overreaction, and certainly no warning. In industrial disputes, sure, employers have views and unions have views. What I don't support, though, is the no warning nature of what's happened.
The unions, though, are not free of criticism, surely, because this has been going on for weeks. A lot of people have been inconvenienced. It's costing Qantas millions of dollars.
Oh, let's be clear, and despite what people say one way or the other, the government's not picking sides between the union or the unions, only some of which are taking this action for the record, and the company. We're on the side of the public. We certainly don't think, when there's other legal tools and other means available, that people should be waking up this morning on friends' bedroom floors or on couches or in hotels, that they should have had to be put through this. This is not the way. This is not the way to do things in Australia. You don't lock out your passengers to square off with your employees. I'm not picking sides, but if the unions had locked out all the passengers, I'd be equally outraged. But in this case, it's the Qantas management who've done, in my opinion, the premature and wrong thing when there was in fact plenty that could be done of a sensible nature.
Well, Tony Abbott and the Premier, some of them, says the federal government should have intervened weeks ago. Why didn't you? Why did it take this dramatic escalation?
Well, let's be clear, and again, Qantas will have to explain some of their dealings with the government in recent weeks, but there's been plenty of government ministers monitoring the issue. There's been plenty of discussion. The reality is that this dispute wasn't grounding the whole airline. Qantas say that at some point in the future it was, so we had to bring matters on. But if they really believe that, and they clearly do, why didn't they go and try and suspend the bargaining period, take the legal steps which now the government's got to do? We've got to be the sensible third-party broker to ensure that the planes get back up in the air and this dispute reaches a resolution.
Bill Shorten, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks.
Bill Shorten there, and now to the other political issues of the week. And the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting is winding up in Perth. This was, of course, an opportunity for the Prime Minister to host leaders from around the globe. The government expected a distraction from the opposition leader Tony Abbott, and it came courtesy of a surprise intervention in the poker machine debate. It did get plenty of attention, and James Packer joined in as well. And yet those pushing for change were not unhappy with how it all went.